Bastiodon was able to make day 2 at the San Antonio Regional Championship in Regulation G. We're going to be trying out and seeing how well it can perform. This is a Miraidon team with a bit of a twist. Let's break it down. First, we had the Miraidon. What a surprise. This Pokemon was able to win the World Championship. It's able to do so much damage with its ability, able to summon the electric terrain and boost its special attack even further, alongside that choice specs and the Terra Fairy option for a defensive typing, as well as the strong dazzling gleam that it can provide. Its coverage is absolutely insane. The electric terrain boosting its electric coverage even further. The Draco Mirrors, that's able to do a lot. It's very fast, it's very disruptive, and it can just volt switch in and out. It is a really strong threat in Regulation G. The EV spread on the Miraidon allows it to run some bulk, especially helpful with the screens. The special attack is still a lot, being able to dish out a ton of damage. And then timid nature with 164 speed. This is probably just a speed creep others that are just around the area of trying to outspeed the base 135's neutral nature, as well as the few points above that for those, again, just trying to speed creep that area. This Miraidon is able to outspeed up to the base 123 speed tiers, which is Noivern and the Masquerada. Next Pokemon we have is the Iron Hands with the Quark Drive and the Assault Vest, and it's no surprise it is a partner with Miraidon, a great fake out user while being able to take advantage of the electric terrain. Very good pivot. Offensively, it is pretty incredible with that Quark Drive, be able to get the attack booster and just really dish out heavy damage. And you don't need the electric coverage because you already have the Miraidon. So this Iron Hand's able to help out with the heavy slam to hit opposing Terra Fairy Miraidon, but mainly for like Pokemon like Fluttermane, which can be a little bit disruptive, as well as being able to do more damage into a Moongus. The Terrawar is a defensive typing, which can help out against Urshifu, against Sun teams like Koraidon and more. And the Calix Ice Rider Glacial Lances with overall just double fighting coverage, Strain Punch for recovery, as well as the low kick for the extra damage output, allowing it to one-shot a lot of Pokemon thanks to that Quark Drive boost. And overall, just a super big threat next to Miraidon. Next we have is the Ogerpon Heartflame with the Mold Breaker and the Heartflame mask with the Terra Fire and the fire typing from that mask, able to just really dish out a ton of damage if possible, while being a really nice support Pokemon. It's great against Rillaboom, which is a Pokemon that can annoy Miraidon because you want to be able to threaten the Rillaboom so it doesn't always threaten the terrain changes. So being able to get rid of it, being able to redirect attacks to help support the Miraidon and more Pokemon on this team, just really great, as well as the offensive coverage that it provides with the Fire and Grass, especially with the Sword of Ruin, which we'll get into later. But overall, a great Pokemon that's able to support. Is pretty fast and offensive, that's threatening, while being able to take attacks. Ogerpon is just a great Pokemon in the format, paired with Miraidon especially. And the Ogerpon Heartflame spread, overall, just generally bulky, has a good amount of HP investment. The attack is able to get an extra stat point based off the adamant nature. And then 188 speed is able to outspeed neutral base 100. Next Pokemon we have is the Sword of Ruin, support from the Xianpao with the Focus Sash, and the Xianpao is really nice to help out against the ground type coverage that is able to basically wall the Miraidon if it locks into an electric type attack. Pokemon like Landorus Incarnate has been rising, so a Pokemon that's just able to threaten those, and really heavily with the Icicle Crash, decent into the Miraidon matchup because you have that Focus Sash, you have max speed, so you can risk a speed tie if they do go to max speed Miraidon and threaten them that way, which is pretty solid. And overall, just being able to threaten with the Icicle Crash and the Dark type moves for the Calyx Shadow Rider, as well as the Terra Ghost option just to be able to avoid extreme speeds and fake outs. Overall, just a nice pairing, and Xianpao Iron Hands, especially with the Quark Drive boost, can be a huge threat. Xianpao plus Ogerpon really offensive as well, potentially. Next Pokemon we have is the Grimmsnarl with the Prankster and the Light Clay with the Terra Ghost option, again to help out against fake out users. And overall, Grimmsnarl allows it to slow it down. We introduce a bunch of offensive fast Pokemon in general, but we can slow it down with the screens and make the Iron Hands, the Miraidon, much bulkier and harder to get rid of, while dishing out a lot of damage thanks to their multipliers. Overall, just able to have screens, which is consistent against a lot of game plans. You have the Thunder Wave for speed control and really punishes opposing Miraidon if they decide to Terra. Pokemon like Calyx Shadow Rider, Zamazenta, and more. Very nice to have speed control. And then the Spirit Break to help out against maybe opposing Miraidon, against special attackers if you can catch them on the switch. Be able to have a decent fairy type attack while also being able to lower a special attack stat guaranteed by one stage. can be pretty helpful. The Grimmsnarl having the impish nature, going more of a physically defensive set because of the Urshifu surging strikes, of course, as well as just very common, very offensive physical attacks in the format like the Ice Rider Glacial Lance that can be a bit hard to switch into. So having a bit more physical defense to be able to take those attacks while still having a decent amount of special defense is pretty solid. And then the final Pokemon, the star of this team, the Bastiodon, and it's not really an offensive star but a support mon that can really come into play in certain matchups. You have the story ability, which allows Bastiodon to always be able to survive one hit. The Covert Cloak, where there were two builders and one had a Covert Cloak, one had a Leftovers. The Leftovers one was used and wasn't able to make it into day 2, but it does provide for some more consistent Iron Defense body press end games. But the Covert Cloak can be very helpful because of the fact against opposing fake outs, you can still go for the wide guard and not have to worry about fake out rotations, which can be very nice. And overall, that is very helpful on this team where Miraidon and Iron Hands are brought pretty consistently, and not having protect and maneuver, so having that option to still protect these Pokemon from strong spread moves with wide guard can be very helpful. That Iron Defense body press, such a strong setup. The wide guard, again, so many spread moves in the format: Astral Barrage, Water Spout, Glacial Lance, and more. The foul play to hit the Calyx Shadow Rider that could force them to Terra, and if they Terra into something like a dark typing or a normal typing, then body press system super effectively. The Terra Grass also helps out to play around Spore from Amoonguss if you don't have the electric terrain set up, helps out against the water surging strikes, potentially opposing Miraidon, and more. The high horsepower resists from Calyx Ice Rider, ground type coverage in general. Just a really good defensive typing that allows Bastiodon to be able to take attacks and stick around on the field, especially with the screen support. The Bastiodon EV spread, you do want the Bastiodon to be able to take special attacks, since you do have it being able to take physical attacks pretty well naturally, and alongside those Iron Defense boosts, boosting its physical defense even further. You want it to be able to take the special attacks, so going as much as you can to get an extra stat point based off the nature. And then the 2 speed IVs do allow it to speed creep the base 30s that the Bastiodon does speed tie with, like the Amoonguss, for instance. So you do want to outspeed the min speed Amoonguss and then threat him with body press, because you don't want to really play around speed ties around that tier. You have 2 different modes with the team. You have the very offensive mode with Miraidon, Qianpao, Ogerpon, and Iron Hands, just able to do a lot of damage utilizing the electric terrain from Miraidon, which can allow Miraidon to do a bunch of damage, or even Iron Hands with that Quark Drive boost, and then Qianpao and Ogerpon can also just do a ton of damage overall. Or you also have the more screens defensive route with the Grimmsnarl, which is able to set up a reflector light screen that allows Miraidon and Iron Hands to take the attacks even better while still dishing out a ton of damage thanks to their multipliers. And then the Bastiodon's able to support certain matchups, really helpful into the Callies. The wide guard just general helps out against like Terapagos and more. It is a very unique Pokemon, but it does have a role on this team, which can be pretty helpful and surprising to opponents who have never seen it before. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Calyx Ice Rider, Farigiraf, Landorus Incarnate, the Cornerstone Ogerpon, Incineroar, and Urshifu. Alright, how do I want to approach this matchup? Bastiodon is pretty nice. I'd say it's pretty nice. There is a Sludge Bomb Landorus though, and Landorus is 100% coming, so I gotta respect that. I think it's just a combination of Incineroar, Calyx Ice Rider, Landorus, which is super scary. I don't know what they're leading here, but I think I'm going to lead Bastiodon plus the Miraidon already. And then I think in the back, I don't want screens. I feel like screens isn't it this time. I think I go with Iron Hands, and I think I need POW. Because if I don't have POW, like threatening the Landorus is like impossible. I hope it's not Scarf Landorus on this team. I don't think it should be, but it could, because they do lack speed on this team. We'll find out. But Landorus is one of the scariest mons I have to respect. Incineroar Cali Ice is still a threatening combination. So let's see what they decide to bring. I think it's Landorus, I think it's Incineroar, I think it's Cali Ice, and I think it's Cornerstone Ogerpon, but I could see Ursh being brought too. We're gonna see the Cali Ice plus the Incineroar lead, which is not too surprising as I lead Miraidon. I'm going straight for the wide guard, and I'm going straight for the Volt Switch into the Incineroar. I hope they don't high horsepower to Bastiodon turn 1, but yeah, let's wide guard, let's Volt Switch. I cannot really risk Glacial Lance. They go for Protect, because I guess they're trying to scout what I can really do, but this works out. Wide guard comes out from the Bastiodon. I am able to get the Volt Switch off in Incineroar. I really wanted to see if like Lando might switch in for the Cali Ice. I don't think they should ever though. I don't think ever switching was the play. Who am I going out into? Pow or Iron Hands? Probably the Iron Hands always. I was thinking of like going into Shien Pow in case I want to try to catch the Lando, but then I would just fake out switch to Pow, I think. I get the Quark Drive boost. Wisp immediately, and Bastiodon dodges. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Actually, I don't have a great switch. I guess I could get some pretty decent damage. I think they would probably want to burn the Iron Hands. I don't know if Cali switches though. I could see Cali switch into the Lando. I think my best play is just to foul play the Cali and get some damage and fake out. They do swap though. Okay, smart. Let's see who's being brought out. Lando? Oh, Farig. Oh, I forgot about Farig. Okay, I'm glad they didn't switch out for the other slot, but this still works out. Okay, I get some damage into Farig. I'm gonna body press the Incin, I suppose, but it's all right. Wisp is gonna come out. I think this just means I get a free Iron Defense up with Bastiodon next turn because they can't really do damage here. That's actually good damage to Farig. Wait, that wasn't a crit. That's some pretty good damage. Okay. I'm setting up my Iron Defense, and I'm going to go for a Drain Punch. I guess I'm going to Drain Punch the Incin because they can either only Parting Shots out my... They can either Wisp my Bastiodon, which is fine, or they go for the target into the... They either Wisp my Bastiodon or they Parting Shot. And getting rid of Incin's kind of huge for me. So I'll gladly take this. Okay. It's nice. I am able to get the Drain Punch off into the Incin. Incin goes down, and I get a free Iron Defense, which is pretty nice. Cali Ice might be a bit problematic though. This Trickham's about to go up from Farig, but we do have to deal with it. Yep, Trickham's coming out as I do get the Iron Defense up with my Bastiodon. I don't think I ever click Wide Guard. They're probably just going to go for high horsepower. The question is, do I Terra my Iron Hands? I don't think I ever Terra the Bastiodon realistically. I think I Iron Defense again actually, so I take the attacks better. I think I do Terra Water and I Drain Punch actually, because I might as well get the recovery. Do I need the Fairy Terra? Not really in this game, I think. I think we want to get rid of Farigiraf and set up for an end game where we outspeed once Trickham's over, and then Pow plus Miraidon carries. So I'm going to go for another Iron Defense, and I'm going to go for my Terra Water, and I'm just going to Drain Punch and get the recovery back from the Farig. Because the Farig took a lot of damage from foul play. I wouldn't be surprised if this is offensive, because that did not look like it has as much defense investment as a normal Farig would have. I also think I cover Helping Hand high horsepower with these plays. Or high horsepower psychic. Or psychic noise, which is fair. Hey, Terra comes out from Cali? Okay, Cali Terra's into what? Fairy, perfect. I Drain Punch the Farig, so this is not that big of a deal. Although it means it walls my Bastiodon, but that's fine. Alright, bring out the Terra on the Iron Hands. Drain Punches Farig. And then maybe it's in range of Body Press. I guess we'll find out later. But high horsepower is just not a super threatening move at this point in the game. Alright, Iron Defense comes out. No Helping Hand. +4 Bastiodon. High horsepower, yep, into Iron Hands, as expected. Does a decent amount of damage, but not nearly enough. I don't get that much damage from the Drain Punch, actually. Okay. I did a lot less than I was hoping for. And it is Citrus Berry. Wow, I thought that was offensive for Rig because I thought Foul Play did too much, but all right. Psychic Noise into Iron Hand, sure. I think this is pretty all right. I'm pretty sure I can Iron Defense again with Bastiodon. And I think I sack my Bastiodon here. There you go for a Helping Hand. Oh, Helping Hand High Horsepower is actually kind of threatening. Well, at least into Iron Hands. It's not threatening in the Bastiodon, I think. Okay. They do a high horsepower my Bastiodon. As you can see, my Bastiodon takes it extremely well. Low kick going to come out into the Rig. Not bad damage. Okay, if it's Helping Hand, Trick Room, it's probably Psychic Noise, Foul Play. Electric Terrain disappears, which is fine. Spark Drive disappears. They're probably going to go for the Helping Hand play into the Bastiodon again, which is fine. I'm going to take the KO on for Rig with Body Press. And I'm going to swap out into POW. Because I'm not risking Helping Hand High Horsepower into Iron Hands. I'm going to be forfeited. I think the game was not over. But I do think I had a really good spot where I could get Miraidon outside of Trick Room and just Electro Drift KO to Cali, so... yeah, they weren't able to sweep under Trick Room like they were hoping, but... Bastiodon the wall. Can't believe we got to +6 like that. But it would definitely helped out stalling out that Trick Room, let me just say. Koraidon with the Fluttermane, Chi-Yu, Walking Wake, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, and the Raging Bolt. Alright, I am gonna bring screens, and I think I'm just gonna lead the Grimmsnarl plus the Iron Hands. It's such a strong lead here, I think, across the board. In the back, I probably want the Miraidon, and then final Pokemon. What do I want as my final Pokemon? Probably Ogerpon for the redirection. Xianpao, it's a bit weird. It's like usable, but I don't really like it too much. I really kind of want to bring the Bastiodon for fun. And I could see it having some usage case. You know what? I'll bring it for fun. I'll bring it for fun. It would be really funny if we can set up a great position against Koraidon, but I do think having a switch in is pretty good because POW can't switch in, and neither can Ogerpon. Can kind of switch in. At the same time, I'm thinking, okay, having a defensive pivot around in case I need Iron Hands for Fake Out later in the game, or I need to reset my move on Miraidon, might be valuable. And even though sacking immediately would probably be a strong call, Bastiodon can probably take one hit, which I feel like for the beginning of the game, it's going to be hard for them to even get a knockout. So let's see. I'm going to Heavy Slam the Flutter turn 1 if they lead Flutter Chi-Yu. Koraidon Ogerpon. Okay, this is a very safe... Probably just Drain Punch Reflect. I could also just Fake Out as well, but I don't think they can knock out Grimmsnarl unless they double it specifically. I'm going to go for Reflect. And I'm going to go for a... I want a low kick. Yeah, I probably just want a low kick. I don't want to Drain Punch the Ogerpon because of the Spiky Shield damage, but... Yeah, I do just want damage into Koraidon. And if they switch out, that's fine. It's just Flutter. Flutter would work too. That makes sense. Good play on their part. Okay. The Flutter's in, but I get Reflect and then a Light Screen, so I don't think this is that bad. I don't know if I really want a Terra, but we'll see. Get Reflect. They didn't Protect, so good play on their part. Get a Ivy Cudgel off. I guess the question is, are they going to follow me or not? Really wish I Drain Punch now, but that's fine. Gonna get my Light Screen up, and I think I Heavy Slam in case Ogerpon goes for Spiky Shield. Even though I think that's super greedy, I think you should always click the... I think you should always just click follow me. Yeah, they Spiky Shielded. Okay. I had, like, this is always why you cover the greedy play. And Drain Punch might have been greedy for the health. But yeah, we get the light screen up. This is Moonblast into Grimmsnarl, so I don't even take damage with the Iron Hands, which is fantastic. Okay. Super ideal. Super ideal. And here comes a Heavy Slam into the Flutter main. Picks up the knockout. Goodbye, Flutter. Great. We got both screens up. We're looking like in a pretty solid spot. We can go Miraidon and boost up our Iron Hands attack. Because Koraidon... Ooh, Walking Wake. All right. I'm okay with Walking Wake coming out. I do get to bring out the Miraidon. I think we're fine. Yeah, I think we're fine. Either Walking Wake Terras or it doesn't. Because we have Light Screen up as well. We do have Light Screen up, which is pretty big. Did Walking Wake get a speed boost or special attack boost? I really should have paid attention to that. I can't remember. I think I just pressure with Gleam and Drain Punch. If they protect, this is fine because I pressure with Gleam the next turn, right? So I get a Gleam off. I don't KO Ogerpon, but that's all right. They go for Ivy Cudgel to get the chip. I probably low kick here because I don't need the Drain Punch recovery, and the low kick should KO Ogerpon. Trying to think. I probably Terra Water Iron Hands in this match anyway. I think I'm just gonna Gleam and low kick here. Again, if they greedy Spiky Shield, it should never be your play. Well, I guess you don't have to go for Follow Me, but we'll see. We are gonna see the Terra finally involved here. This should probably be the Wake into Fire or something. Yeah. Okay, perfect. That means Koraidon can't Terra. They also have to read if I'm gonna Terra my Miraidon or not. They go for Flamethrower. This is into Iron Hands? No, they did read my Terra. Perfect. I had a feeling they might try to read Terra, and I just don't have to Terra. So I get a Dazzling Gleam off plus a low kick. That's huge for me. Yep. Goodbye, Ogerpon. I think the low kick will probably knock out the Walking Wake, and then I should have the game sealed. Yeah. Goodbye, Walking Wake. And now it's Koraidon by itself, and Miraidon probably faster than Koraidon because I don't think Koraidon's run max speed or even close to it. And then I just go for Dazzling Gleam. I can go out into... There's a lot of ways I could win this game, actually. Do I want to stall out the sun? I think I'm going to go for Dazzling Gleam, and I'm going to swap out into Bastiodon so I have Fake Out Pressure. Then I can Iron Defense up. I can also low kick. There's like so many ways I could win. But yeah, I think... Again, the greedy not follow meing just ended up really punishing because they thought I probably was just going to Drain Punch that slot. Or maybe they thought the Flutter was in danger because maybe they thought I was Wall Charge and not Heavy Slam. But when you greed and lose your Flutter like in that position, which was a huge Pokemon, as you saw with how many Fairy Weeks I had, which again, why I had Bastiodon, because Bastiodon was actually pretty good into that situation with the Flutter plus the Ogerpon, because if they did go for like Follow Me, I could bring in Bastiodon next turn and threaten it, but yeah. All right, we have Miraidon with Iron Bundle, the Ogerpon, Heartflame, Iron Valiant, Yvesangelist, Blood Moon. All right. Gonna be a tough one. Gonna be a tough one. I think I would just want to lead Iron Hands plus the... I think Iron Hands Miraidon is pretty strong here. I think it is Iron Hands Miraidon, and then in the back, Pow's okay, but it's not like amazing in this matchup. Ogerpon's kind of nice for the redirection, but there's a lot of Pokemon that it doesn't like dealing with. I actually kind of want to bring Bastiodon just because, but I also like having a wide guard because I don't really have the best Gleam switch-ins. I think it's Grim. I think it's weird having my supported Pokemon in the back. It's like, okay, I'm not leading with Light Screen, but I'm gonna try to play offensively against like Iron Bundle plus the Miraidon, because it's like, okay, maybe I can bait like a Dazzling Gleam. I can swap it into the Bastiodon as a pivot and then get some damage off with my Iron Hands, which I think could be a really strong option, because usually it specs on the Miraidon, and if I can catch the Miraidon Terra, that means Iron Bundle can't Terra. I can go for Drain Punch pretty effectively. Iron Hands is pretty good against a lot of their common Pokemon, and they can't knock out the Pokemon super easily. Yvesangelist Ursaluna is not what I anticipated. Okay. Against the Miraidon and the Iron Hands. Is this double protect and then it's like Earth Power or something? Okay. I am a-okay with this. I think I'm just gonna Drain Punch the Ursaluna, and I'm just gonna swap out into Grimmsnarl, because I probably assume that this is gonna be a double protect, because a fake out plus an attack would be pretty bad, unless it's Covert Cloak Jugulus. Maybe then they could go on it for the offense, but even then, yep, we're gonna see the protect from the Jugulus, and the Ursaluna also gonna follow up. Yep, perfect. Okay, so now I get a free Light Screen, and that's such a good Light Screen here. I wonder if they Terra Ursaluna. Do they have Terra for Ursaluna is a good question. But I do think that this is just such a safe Drain Punch here in Ursaluna, and such a safe Light Screen in general. They don't really have a good switch to Drain Punch, and it looks like no Terra, so I am able to get the Light Screen up. Fantastic. They're going to get the Tailwind to set up. Perfectly fine. I would like this recovery. I go for Blood Moon into Grim, which shouldn't KO. Yeah. That's not Life Orb, is it? That is Life Orb. Wow, I thought that would have done a bit more. Okay, Drain Punch is going to come out in Ursaluna. Doesn't pick up a knockout, but that's still really good damage. I can get a Reflect Up if I want to. Or I could go Bastiodon. Bastiodon's not a terrible play either, because you would Hyper Voice or... Well, actually, can you even knock out Grim in this spot? I guess he can't. Unless you double it up specifically with Air Slash. I should probably get Reflect Up. I don't need Reflect, because it's probably... I mean, it can be useful still. Do I read Ursaluna Protect and then just to get an Air Slash off? I think I'll just get Reflect Up. It's super safe. Okay, they attack. So this might be Air Slash plus Hyper Voice? Yeah, double up into Grim. I could have went Bastiodon, but I still have both screens up, which is still pretty good. I am glad I didn't go Bastiodon then. I'm very glad. That's fine by me. But it living on like 1 HP is not great. I do get the Drain Punch off into the Yvesangelist, but okay, maybe not the best. I don't think Bastiodon is that bad here. Say with Earth Power the... I don't know if they're going to Earth Power the Iron Hands or if they're going to Earth Power the Bastiodon. I think I just Drain Punch here, and I think I go for the Terra... Actually, I think Terra Grass is fine. I think Terra Grass and set up an Iron Defense is not bad. The reason is I wouldn't be surprised if they double up the Bastiodon with like Air Slash plus Earth Power. That should not knock out Bastiodon with the screens up, as well as the Wide Guard support to follow. If I get a double knockout here, I'm in a golden position. Even if they protect Jugulus and attack with the Ursaluna, I still think I'm okay. They go for the Air Slash, yep. And as you can see with the screen, I absolutely take that. They Earth Power the Iron Hands, which is a bit worse, but I mean, still pretty acceptable, because I get the Drain Punch and I get the recovery as well as the Iron Defense setup. So as long as with the screen still set up with a Grimmsnarl, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to break through this too. So let's see what their final Pokemon are. Like if it's Ogerpon, I feel pretty good, because with the Iron Defense set up, we should be tanking attacks with the screens, but of course we have to play around Ivy Cudgel. If this is... What is this? Iron Bundle? If it's Iron Bundle, it should be fine. Yeah, it's Iron Bundle coming in. Okay. I guess if the Iron Bundle has Encore, it's a bit weird, but even then. All right, Miraidon in. Freeze Dry is definitely not knocking out my Bastiodon. I'm gonna go for a... I gotta Terra Ghost Iron Bundle. I think you always Terra the Miraidon. I'm just gonna scout for what they do. I'm just gonna click Wide Guard and Drain Punch. They do Terra. I'm not too surprised here. Gonna be Miraidon. Oh, maybe it's gonna be speed related between my Miraidon and theirs, because if they freeze dry here, or if they protect, that's fine. Okay, that works. Did they lock into Gleam? That's what I'm thinking they do. Like, I really think they lock into Gleam here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so the Bastiodon helps wall this situation. They can't knock out my Bastiodon because of screens. How much does Heavy Slam do? Or should I just double Drain Punch the Iron Bundle? Terrain disappears too. Work Drive wears off for both. That's not really going to be that impactful. I have a lot of turns of screens left. It should be Freeze Dry. Actually, no. My play would be to go Iron Bundle here. Or now Iron Bundle. Go okay, no. I think, assuming no crits, my safest play is just to go out into Miraidon and click Wide Guard again. I should have probably done this the last turn realistically, because then this gives me a Electro Drift into their Miraidon, as well as Bastiodon should survive the turn. Gets the Wide Guard again, so Gleam can't knock out my Miraidon. Miraidon can't get knocked out by Iron Bundle. And then I just Electro Drift, and then I should be able to beat the Iron Bundle with my Iron Hands by itself. So I think this seals it. Unless the Miraidon has some weird tech. Freeze Dry going to come out. We should tank one. Oh, we take that a lot better than I anticipated. Wait. Okay. Is that a Solvest? It might be a Solvest. Okay, that changed my plans. I think Iron Bundle Miraidon doesn't run max speed on Miraidon. I'm hoping. I'm just gonna Volt Switch and Wide Guard. All right, let's see. This might be a Freeze Dry. This could be an Icy Wind attempt. We'll find out. Freeze Dry again. We should tank one. No. Okay. Really comes down to, does my Miraidon outspeed theirs? I was thinking with Specs, and I thought we were locked into a perfect end game because I thought they were locked into Gleam. That did not work out. Okay, we are faster. We do get the Volt Switch off. It is a Solvest. Okay. We're protected from the Gleam thanks to Wide Guard. This can only be Draco, and I don't think you knock out Iron Hands. Yeah, they Draco. Iron Hands eats that up. Perfect. Now we can go Miraidon. Just don't be Encore, and I think we're fine. We're gonna go for Fake Out into Miraidon because it could be Covert Cloak, Iron Bundle. I mean, they usually run Sash, but if it's Covert Cloak, I'm not risking that. Like, I am not risking that. I don't think Dazzling Gleam KOs if it's a Solvest Miraidon either, so I'll go for Fake Out. Hydro Pump is fine because it doesn't KO Iron Hands. Yeah, I think we should have this sealed, and the Electro Drift will KO by Miraidon. Okay, now with their Tarragon, I can go for a Drain Punch and a Electro Drift. Whew. That was scarier than I thought. I did not expect it to be a Solfest on this team. I really thought it'd be Choice Specs, but all right. Thankfully, I did anticipate, right? We were probably going to be faster just because if they're running Icy Wind on bundle with speed control, I think it's really unlikely that the Miraidon is going to run max speed, or timid max speed at least. So I'm very glad my intuition, I think, was right. I was able to get a Volt Switch damage, which was really important, and then get in the Iron Hands and set up for the fake out. Whew, screen's coming in clutch. What a interesting team. We have the Hisuian Typhlosion, Araquanid, Miraidon, Landorus Incarnate, Tornadus Incarnate, and Male Entity. Okay. I don't like dealing with this matchup wise. It doesn't look pretty, although they do have a really bad POW matchup. Yeah, POW is pretty rough for them. Okay. I feel like POW plus Iron Hands is actually a pretty strong lead. It's weird seeing double terrain on this team too. It's really weird seeing double terrain here. Okay. So I think I'm just going to lead POW plus Iron Hands. I think it's a pretty safe lead across the board. I think I'm going to have Bastiodon, Miraidon the back. Just having 3 ground weeks is not promising, but we'll see how this manages. Brimstone could be great, but I am still bringing a bunch of weaknesses. Terra-wise, I don't know. It's probably Miraidon, or it could be Bastiodon. I guess Bastiodon does have some potential. Just dealing with Landorus Incarnate plus Miraidon on the same team is so scary. It is so scary for this team. Let's see what we can do. Because having that pressure of the ground and electric coverage is scary. Although it's not really the electric coverage I'm fearing. I'm more fearing of just how annoying the Miraidon mirror is because of Dazzling Gleam and Draco Meteors. And depending on their speeds as well. Let's see. Tornadus Landorus is not like a lead I'm surprised about. Okay. Versus Xianpao and the Iron Hands. Alright, I'm just going to go for an Icicle Crash into the Landorus, and I'm going to go for a... I don't want to Drain Punch the Landorus. In cases... Oh, would you be Terra Steel on this team? I have no clue. I wish I could threaten the Torn for damage. I think I'm just going to Drain Punch. I could see like Male Entity switching in. All right, Protect, maybe Fake Out plus Crash might have been the play then. They do go for Tailwind, which is fine. All right. Do I have to Terra Water Iron Hands? I would really like not to. Well, I don't have to actually, because I could probably lift Sandseer into an attack here. So I guess I could protect my POW and just go for Heavy Slam into the Landorus. Then I could threaten a Sucker Punch. Is it Male Entity plus Miraidon the back though? That's what I'm trying to think. All right, so they probably went on the offense here. A Rain Dance would make sense too. They just Bleak Wind, which is fair. Okay. Iron Hand should live 1 Sandseer, I think. Sandseer does come out. If we put the Lando in Sucker Punch range, they have to respect it. Yep, nice. And we get the Heavy Slam. All right, it's in Sucker Punch range. They have to respect it. This could be a Male Entity swap and Sandseer, which is concerning. Oh no, you have to fear the Sucker Punch, right? I feel like you have to fear the Sucker Punch. I think I'm still gonna Sucker anyway. Like if their Lando is forced to Terra, I guess it's not awful for me. I'm gonna Drain Punch a Torn. Lando gonna swap out. All right. I wish I crashed a Torn, but it's still acceptable. A Rock when it come in. Okay, so it's not Male Entity, that's for sure. I don't think this is too bad. I wish I got the knockout on Torn, but I don't think this is a bad spot. A Bleak Wind Palamis would be nice. Iron Hands missing is actually very awkward. I would have loved a free switch. Okay. I get a Drain Punch off. I mean, having Lando, I mean, Iron Hands around, I guess isn't awful, but it's not ideal. It's actually not ideal. I'm going to protect and swap out into Miraidon. Because this should be the last Earth Tailwind, and I can threaten some pretty heavy damage across the board. Because this is what, like Bleak Wind, Liquidation. Miraidon might actually take a decent chunk. Maybe I should have swapped out into Bastiodon as well. Yeah, Liquidation. Oh my goodness, I was about to say there's no way it's like choice band, but yeah, crit is like choice band damage. They don't have Tailwind anymore. I can crash a Torrent. This is so bad. This is so bad. I'm gonna Volt Switch and attempt to get out of here, but hey, I have no idea what the speed on the Araquanid is. Oh, that's just so bad. They could switch into Lando too, I guess. I don't know if I would switch Lando unless the Araquanid doesn't protect. I would Defensive Terra potentially if I was them. They got so much damage where they can probably clean up with another Tailwind, and it's pretty bad. We are going to see a Terra. Let's see who this is. Araquanid, yep. It is grass. I'm not surprised. I could have crashed that slot. I need to be faster than the Araquanid though with the Volt Switch. I think that's like a really big thing. If I am, this might be possible. I am faster with my POW at least. I do get the KO on Torn. Okay. You get the Volt Switch off. This is always Liquidation. My sacking, like the thing is, because Bastiodon has 30, it always lives to Liquidation, which is actually kind of awkward for me. Actually, no, I think having the Fake Out's still more important. I think going Bastiodon here is actually worth the risk. Oh, wait, they Leech Life. Huh. That makes things interesting, I guess? Interesting. Miraidon gonna come out. Are you gonna go for an electric move or are you gonna go for Volt Switch? I mean, my safest play is just to always protect POW. And I guess set up an Iron Defense, right? Yeah. Because if they're going to attack, I want to see what the attack is from the Miraidon here. Electro Drift into POW. And I assume then this is just Liquidation into Bastiodon, which I'm hoping it KOs. Yeah, so I get a free switch into Iron Hands. Then I get to click Icicle Crash plus an attack. And I think I'm okay there. All right. So I bring out Iron Hands. I get to click Fake Out plus Icicle Crash. And I think I'm okay. Of course, there could be Protects involved from the Araquanid, but I think if Miraidon switches out, I think I'm okay. Because it is in Scarfland. I'm pretty sure the Life Orb damage was confirmed. I'm going to Fake Out the Miraidon Icicle Crash the Araquanid, then force into Lando, and then it's Lando Miraidon, and I should win the game. I think it's close. It's close. Bastiodon sack was worth it there. If they doubled up the Xian Pow for some reason, I wanted the Iron Defense. Ooh, wait, hold on. This is, wait, what? You switched to Lando for that slot. Wait, you have Protect Miraidon. What? Okay, this game got very weird. This game got very weird. Did we see attacks on the Miraidon? We only saw Electro Drift, right? And Protect. It's the last turn of Tailwind, so I always get the Protect off. And I guess we're just going to Drain Punch a Rockrunnit because it might KO the Rockrunnit. I don't Terra here because there's no reason to Terra. Okay, so they have Dazzling Gleam. I want to confirm that. All right. Are you Life Orb? I want to know if you're Life Orb, because that's a good question. You're not Life Orb. All right, I get to see whose Miraidon's faster because the ability is going to activate. And actually, wait, do I get to find out who's faster? The text should appear for their side as well, right? Oh, it doesn't appear. Okay, I can't confirm. I have to risk. I have to take a gamble because I can Icicle Crash a slot. It's speed ties as well because PAL is max speed. I don't know if we knock out Miraidon though with Crash. I feel like there's a chance we don't, but I think I'm just gonna crash the Miraidon, and I think I'm just gonna Draco. Air Fairy doesn't save me here, so go for the crash. And I'm Draco the Rockrunnit in case they protect the Miraidon. Okay, no, I just KO Miraidon and then Draco KOs the Rockrunnit. Okay, assuming I connect, but even if I miss, I get another chance. And I KO Rockrunnit in one shot. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know if they're max speed Miraidon on their team because they do have Tailwind and they have a Lando, so they don't need to be max speed guaranteed. But all right, took the risk. I just remember that Miraidon, if it out of Terra, can survive 2 crashes, so I wasn't 100% certain on if I was able to KO. But oh man, that was stressful. That was stressful. Like, yeah, crashing, I guess I should have faked that. I was just always scared to Entity, but Entity Miraidon back, it's just such a strange position, I think, for the most part. I was really worried about, like, there was some sudden strategy where, like, it's Entity, they Terra the Lando, and it's like, oh, I'm so screwed now. But, yeah, I think I should have crashed a Torn turn 1. Probably would have gave me an advantageous position. Ogerpon would have been nice, but, I mean, Bastiodon, you know, to survive 2 attacks guaranteed was kind of helpful. Raging Bolt, Urshifu with Amoonguss, Calyx Ice Rider, Incineroar for Farigiraf. Okay. So Bastiodon is actually really good here, and I mean really good. Wide guard support is very nice against this team. I don't want to perform against this. I definitely bring Miraidon. I don't know if I lead Miraidon. Probably not. How fast is Bastiodon again? Yeah, we are min speed. Okay. Trying to figure out how I position this because I want to make sure that I am good against the Ice Rider. Except Screens. I feel like Screens is a bit much, but I guess I don't need Ogerpon too much in this matchup, and I don't need POW. So I guess I'm gonna lead Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl Iron Hands isn't a terrible lead, I guess. Bastiodon, Miraidon. Because I can get Reflect up, I can threaten some pretty heavy damage into them. Let's see. I would like some pretty heavy damage into them. We are going to see Calyx Incineroar. Okay, so that's not like an uncommon decision. We are going to lead our Grimmsnarl Iron Hands. If they have Wisp, that's okay. I'm not expecting Iron Hands to sweep this matchup. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be relying on my threat of... not Bastiodon, the Miraidon to really clean up. So I'm going to go for Reflect. And I'm just going to go for a... probably a Drain Punch. into Incineroar. I don't know if you Terra Ghost here. I don't think you would. Yeah. All right, no fake outs. I am going to be able to get a Drain Punch. Glacial Lance immediately. Interesting. Okay. No Trick Room. They go for a knockout to get rid of my Assault Vest. Okay, I'll definitely take this trade. I definitely like this, actually. Because I get a free Drain Punch into the Incineroar. That's some pretty heavy damage. Okay, nice. Now, do I want Light Screen up? Probably not. I'm surprised they didn't respect Foul Play, but I think I definitely go Bastiodon and keep the Grimmsnarl around for later in the game. If they knocked off, they're probably setting up for something later. I don't know if it's a Mungus, but I think I'm just going to get a low kickoff into Cali. Who do I think is in the back? That's switching Raging Bolt. I'm just going to get damage in Cali, I think. I don't think they're going to give me the Incineroar. They're probably just going to Parting Shot out. I don't think they ever high horsepower to Grim. I think they would high horsepower the other slot if they would attack. But yeah, Glacial Lance is what I was most likely expecting here. Yeah. Oh, it's Assault Vest Incineroar. Okay, that makes it a lot easier to understand. Okay. So no Wisp that I have to worry about, which is fantastic. Amoonguss coming in. All right. I get a free low kick off into Miraidon. Nice. I think that this is a safe wide guard Terra Grass angle and a swap to Miraidon. Even if they high horsepower, I don't take that much damage. And then I get a pretty free Draco Meteor or Electro Drift if I think this is Terra Fairy Amoonguss. I've gotten good damage into Calix Ice Rider, which is nice. Once I reveal wide guard, they probably switch out Cali Ice the next turn. I mean, there's still a lot of things that could go wrong. Cali Ice actually switches this turn, which I would gladly take. Incineroar, okay. I mean, we know the Incineroar can't protect. How much does Bastiodon take from Pollen Puff? I hope this isn't Sludge Bomb on the Amoonguss, but I don't think it should be. Bring out the Miraidon. I mean, I'm going to have a good offensive position the next turn. Let's see. Bring out the Terra Grass on the Bastiodon. I wonder if they read this, but I feel like Spore would probably be coming out. I went for Wide Guard to prevent myself from getting Glacial Lanced in case. Ah, they heal the instant. Okay, that's fair. I can't really do much other than fake out Miraidon and I guess Pollen Pelt the Bastiodon. I think I'm just going to set up an Iron Defense with the Bastiodon and I'm just going to drop a Draco Meteor into the Amoonguss. If they fake out, so be it. I guess Protect Knockoff could be scary, but that's risky. No fake out. Okay, so I get a free Draco Meteor into Amoonguss and one-shot it. That's incredible for my Bastiodon because that was the Pokemon that was kind of annoying with Pollen Puff damage, but we'll gladly take that. And they go for a U-turn into Bastiodon, which we take pretty well. We get an Iron Defense set up. We're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. Then I'll just Body Press the Incineroar and swap out the Iron Hands the next turn, I think. Yeah, Cali Ice comes back in. I wonder if they would fear the Covert Cloak because they haven't seen the leftovers on the Bastiodon. Iron Defense is going to be set up, so now we're +2. We should take a Glacial Lance, right? I mean, if I expect Glacial Lance to be coming out, I should I feel like I just Body Press, man. I think I just Body Press. And try to KO the Incin as quick as possible. I also could Foul Play to Cali too, which would be pretty nice, actually. Although preventing the switch would be really nice too. Ah, there's so many options. I think I'd rather just Body Press the Incin though, and I think go Iron Hands. Let's see if this is Glacial Lance coming up, but that's fine if it is. because I have cover cloak. All right, Quark Drive is active. Get the attack boost. Oh, we see a Terra. Who's terroring? Maybe it's the instant, I guess. I guess they did Terra, so I should have outplayed. It is Ghost Terra. I thought it'd be grass if it's a Sylvest, but all right, that's fair. I don't think this is that bad, though. I really don't. Like, Callie protected, so this is actually pretty good. I can foul play that slot potentially the next turn. Quick break. Gets rid of my reflect, which is fair. Okay. Do you think they expect a foul play, though? I don't know if they do. Brick break instant. Wait, you don't have a fire move. You're flare blitz. You're not flare blitz. So your brick break, your knockoff we saw. U-turn and fake out. Okay. Unless it doesn't have fake out. Sure. I'm just going to fake out and foul play to Cali Ice. Because I don't think they're expecting it. They go for... No, they do have flare blitz. Oh, they don't have fake out. That's such an interesting set. Okay. If I get the KO onto the Cali here, I think I win. Ooh, just barely missing knockout. Okay. Last turn of electric terrain. I think I just wide guard here. Wide guards go to Grim. Because Iron Hand still has value. This could be Flare Blitz high horsepower coming out into the slot, which is fine. If they KO Bastiodon, I just get a free swap into my Miraidon. And then they just have a lot of trouble. And if they KO the Grim, that's fine. They KO the Bastiodon, like either one's okay. Like I've already gotten a lot of work completed with both of these Pokemon. I think Miraidon's pretty set to clean up for a second round of electric terrain. They do high horsepower and flare blitz. Okay, perfect. All right. So Bastiodon goes down. Electric terrain disappears, but we're about to get it back up. We go out into our Miraidon. I guess the question is Terra. Do I Terra here? Probably, right? No, because I want to resist Raging Bolt if necessary. I think we just Dazzling Gleam. You probably reflect, right? I think reflect is fair. Allie gonna protect, which is fine. As we get the reflect up of Grim, let's see, we could live a Flare Blitz potentially, depending on the instance set, but I think this is probably knockoff into my Miraidon. I think Raging Bolt might be in back, which is why I'm trying to prep for it. They Brick Break again. Doesn't KO the Grim though. Okay, perfect. I'm going for Dazzling Gleam and I'm swapping out into Iron Hands because I do want the Iron Hands set up in a fake out position. Because if we do get that fake out pressure off into Raging Bolts to cover... Actually, it can't be Assault Vest on the Raging Bolt, so that's actually a lot better for me. Bring out the Iron Hands. They go for a double, they get it, which is fair, but I think that means they're going for a U-turn or they're going for Brick Break again into the Iron Hand slot. Unless they actually finally go for the knockoff. If they go for the knockoff, that's fine. Yeah, they went for Brick Break again. Perfect. Okay, so Iron Hands is in. I don't get the fake out pressure against Raging Bolt, which was I was hoping for, but I mean, I get a free Dazzling Gleam, and I think I knock out the instant at the range it's at. And I'm going to go for a... I want a Heavy Slam. Instant goes down, I think, to the Gleam. If I Terra, it definitely goes down to Gleam. I don't know if I want to risk that. Actually... No, yeah, I'm just going to Dazzling Gleam and I'm going to go for... I'm gonna go for low kick in case they go for a greedy swap into Raging Bolt, which I don't think is the case ever. So I get a Dazzling Gleam off. I get the KO on both. Perfect. And then this should be a set game so I can beat the Raging Bolt, because the Raging Bolt can only Dragon Pulse or Draco Meteor. I'm pretty sure that Iron Hands plus the Miraidon, which they can't KO with a Electric Terrain, even if they're Booster Energy or Life Orb, Thunderclap, because that's what I was trying to avoid for the end game, was that threatening Fairy Terra. But oh, it's actually just Ursh. Okay, that makes it a lot easier. So I'm really glad I didn't Terra, I guess, because if it was Scarf Ursh, it would have been annoying. But we'll go for Dazzling Gleam. We'll go for the Drain Punch into the Ursh. Probably should have Terra'd the Iron Hands, but I don't think it really makes a difference. I'm guaranteed to win there with Miraidon. Even if they crit, I get a Drain Punch recovery, and then I just Spirit Break Drain Punch, and then they can't win. Yeah. Ditto for Farigiraf, Miraidon, Iron Hands, the Ogerpon, Heartflame, and Whimsicott. Oh, what could be worse than dealing with 2 Miraidons? All right. This is ugly for sure. It's manageable though. I think I'm gonna bring the Miraidon Grimstar lead. Yeah, because against Whimsicott and Farigiraf, I have to play some really annoying mind games dealing with the combo. So it's going to be super rough. I think just having a Fairy Switch, I think I'm going to bring Bastiodon, because Wide Guard actually is pretty helpful here, and I'll bring Iron Hands in the back. I think it really just depends. Dude, the Ditto is so rough for me here. Like, why do I have to deal with a Ditto too? Because it could be like, okay, I could get rid of 1 Miraidon, but there's a chance I had to deal with 2 Miraidons in this matchup, which is ugly. All right, let's see. I'm leading Grim, and I will go for probably Terra immediately. Yeah, like Miraidon for Rig versus Miraidon Grim. At least I have the screens up immediately. My Miraidon looks to be faster, which is pretty big actually. I highly doubt we speed tie. I ever Terra here? Probably not, right? No, I think my best play is just to not Terra. It's probably just a Volt Switch to Miraidon on their side and go for a Light Screen. All right, we see a Terra on their side, which is not too surprising. This is probably Terra Fairy. This was a safe mid-ground regardless, because it covers the Terra. Because I confirmed I was faster, right? My Miraidon is not exactly the fastest out there, so I think I'm fast. I think I'm faster than Miraidon. Helping Hand is going to come out, so they went for Dazzling Gleam. Light Screen going to come out. Please tell me I'm faster. I think I should be. Okay. Get the Volt Switch off. And Miraidon hangs around, but that's fine. We're going to Bastiodon. And as Byron would say, I love Bastiodon here because it actually switches into the Gleam extremely well. Yep, here comes the Dazzling Gleam. It was the Grim, but realistically, Light Screen was the most important thing I needed here. So we're going to go out into our own Miraidon. Yeah, we go out into our own Miraidon. And I just want to click, I just want to read the Miraidon on the Switch so badly, but I know it's such a greedy play. There's no reason for me not to just go for a Wide Guard here. And an Electro Drift into the Farig, I think. This is going to be kind of an interesting next couple turns, though. Oh, don't switch out Farig. Maybe I should have Gleamed. I don't want Farig switching to Ditto here. Do not switch into Ditto. Do not switch into Ditto. Because if I get rid of Farig, it means I can go for Fake Out in the upcoming turns, which is kind of massive. I don't know if Miraidon's in range of Fake Out, but that would be really nice. Actually, you should never switch out into Ditto if you're the Farig, because Dazzling Gleam is a free play that I could have here. Miraidon's gonna switch. Iron Hands probably coming in. Oh, Ditto comes in for that slot. Wait, that's great for me. Okay. They already tear it, so they can't tear it for Rigraph. For Rigraph is just going down here. Nice. Big Electro Drift KO into the Furry. Okay, that's really good. That's really, really good. Oh, man. That's a good KO. I still don't know if I'm right on speed type, but I'm kind of banking not, so I will play aggressive. Iron Hands coming in beautiful. All right. This is a Terra Grass angle for sure, and I'm just going to body press the Ditto here and go out into my Iron Hands. They already Terra, so they can't Terra. I get a huge body press into the Bastiodon. And then I probably heavy slam pin. I heavy slam pin because I can either get the Ditto out of the way or I can get rid of the Miraidon. And then my Miraidon cleans up with Dazzling Gleam, I think, even without Terra. So let's see. Terra Grass to make sure that I'm not vulnerable to body press Drain Punch KOing. I think. I have no idea actually how much low kick does to Bastiodon, so hopefully it's not too crazy amounts. But this should be like a fake out. Or they Drain Punch, which is fair. Yeah, Bastiodon takes it. Okay. A body press. Yep. Even with the crit, we survive, which is massive. Get a body press off into Ditto. Now we go for a body press into Iron Hands. I guess low kick would knock out the Ditto as well. Actually, they could switch. I don't know the Ditto Scarf. But the Ditto Scarf, they could switch out to Miraidon. So I think what I should do is actually just go hard Miraidon and low kick the Iron Hands on their side. Because I don't know if there's Scarf on their Ditto. Because if there's Scarf on a Ditto, it changes a lot. I'm bringing out Miraidon, which shouldn't be at the risk of Drain Punch here. Get a low kick off into Iron Hands. Oh my goodness, that did a lot because I got the crit. Okay. A Drain Punch for recovery. Doesn't really change much because Body Press shouldn't KO either of my Pokemon here. Yeah. Perfect. And I know the Ditto doesn't have Protect, so I can Volt Switch off that freely. I can go for Gleam if I want, but it doesn't change anything. And then we low kick the Iron Hands because only Iron Hands can attack. And if they target the Ditto, or if they target my... If they target my Iron Hands, that means Bastiodon's still around. Which means I have wide guard pressure against the Miraidon, so they can't win with Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam, which is fine. Because they would have to lock into a different move. Nice. No wide guard. I could have Dazzling Gleam, but sure, I get the KO on the Ditto. And that's kind of like what's nice about having the faster Miraidon in the matchup. Assuming I'm the faster Miraidon in the matchup, I still think I am. Bring out the Bastiodon. And it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if I have the faster Iron Hands in the matchup though, because this Iron Hands has some speed. Okay. Drain disappears, but we should have the game sealed. Because I don't think Draco Meteor KO's Iron Hands at full HP. And I am just wide guarding in front of the Miraidon. So I either had wide guard always available, or I had the... Or I always just had Iron Hands healthy, which should be able to survive one attack from Miraidon and KO back. That's gonna be forfeited. Oh man, that was a scary one. Ditto Miraidon? I'm just glad that that I had to fast him a ride on, and I did force him to Terra because they had to play reactive. Oh man, it could have been a completely different game though. If they had if they had the, what's it called? If they had to fast him a ride on, the game changes and then I'm on a defensive foot. So I have to make a hard return one. Luckily, because I saw my ability go off first, I think I like had the option to Volt Switch because I'm not max speed Miraidon. So I kind of knew that it was most likely not a speed tie. All right, let's go over the games. In game one, I got basically a perfect turn. Was not expecting the Cali Ice to play as defensive as they did and was in a decent spot. However, the Will-O-Wisp Incineroar being able to get the burst wasn't super ideal. However, I was able to stall out the Trick Room thanks to the Iron Defense on the Bastiodon, and then was able to set up for a great position for Miraidon. I guess we'll never know because they forfeited early. But I do think Bastiodon was just in a prime position to get a body press knockout, and then Miraidon, once it came in after Trick Room expired, was going to be in a very strong position to take a KO. In game two, a great turn one switch for my opponents. Getting the Koraidon out for the Flutter Mane was a great call. However, they played greedy on the turn two, which was spiky shielding with the Ogerpon and risking the Flutter Mane, and I took full advantage of KOing that Flutter Mane, which was a huge offensive threat to my team, and then played a bit aggressive with the Miraidon because they had to call the Terra option, and even if they got the call right, I was still in a decent spot because Iron Hands was super threatening to their team across the board. In game three, this was a really strange Miraidon mirror match and was able to get both screens up, which was super pleasant. However, the Ursaluna Earth Power coverage was just very, very hard to switch into, but was able to get great spots with the screens up, the Bastiodon in a great spot to click Wide Guard. Was looking pretty good until they revealed the Miraidon was Assault Vest, which ended up changing my plans. However, thanks to Miraidon being faster, I was able to pivot around thanks to the Wide Guard preventing Icy Wind from the Iron Bundle. In game four, I do think I messed up quite a bit. I think I shouldn't have really feared the Entity switch as much as I did. Again, it's a bit weird because they had an Entity and Miraidon on the same team. I think I should have just went for Fake Out into Landers. I don't think it was Choice Scarf, so I could always threaten the Icicle Crash the next turn, even if Entity did swap in. So I think I should have just faked out the Landers, went for Icicle Crash into Torn, or maybe I should have just went for a Heavy Slam into Landers as well as a Icicle Crash into Torn. But I do think I should have got rid of the Torn because them getting two Tailwinds up was not ideal. However, was able to come in clutch with the Shien Pow, the Icicle Crash, outspeeding, KOing the Miraidon on a potential speed tie was super big, and able to keep resources around so I could stall out the Tailwind turns. In game 5, was just able to do a lot of damage at the start thanks to the Draco Meteor KOing the Amoonguss, which was a huge threat. Was able to get an Iron Defense set up on the Bastiodon so it could just stick around on the field. Could have gotten scared though. The Calyx Ice Rider was still terrifying, but I was able to get a ton of damage thanks to the foul play from my Bastiodon, and then set up for a great end game because Miraidon was able to click Dazzling Gleam, and my opponent couldn't really punish the Miraidon thanks to the Calyx Ice Rider being low and Urshifu being the remaining Pokemon in the back. In game 6, oh man, I was super scared of Ditto Miraidon because dealing with two potential Miraidons is never fun. However, was able to reveal that I had the faster Miraidon most likely against my opponent. I really don't think it was a speed tie at that rate. Was going to be able to threaten heavily with that Volt Switch into the Miraidon. Was able to catch the Terra Fairy, and then was able to be in a really good spot to bring in the Bastiodon and basically just get my KOs with the Electro Drift because I've gotten the damage. The Ditto came in, but it just wasn't enough as I was able to set up for a really good end game to help set up a Iron Hands plus Miraidon victory. Bastiodon, man, this Pokemon is strange, and this team definitely was not what I would have expected, but overall, not bad. Bastiodon wasn't able to come into every matchup because it is more for specific matchups, of course. Cali Ice is fantastic, and we didn't get to unfortunately face a Shadow Rider, which would have probably been pretty decent into as well. But that Wide Guard support, really incredible. The Body Press Iron Defense, if we're able to set it up, can be very solid. The Covert Cloak, fantastic against the Fake Out Moss, again, for the Wide Guard, so Bastiodon can keep protecting the ally from strong spread type attacks. It's overall been pretty solid, I think, in most of the games we did bring it into. And no surprise, the rest screens, the Miraidon Iron Hands combo, just it will do so much damage. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. If you'd like to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time the video comes out. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.